Hello. So today's episode will have nothing to do with Ruby on Rails. Basically, a friend of mine sent me a Figma design sketch of an application that he wants to build. It is a restaurant menu ordering and delivery application. And I'm going to build an entity relationships diagram for this application based on the sketches. So I'm going to build out the tables, the attributes of the tables, and the relationships between them. And to do this, I found, after like a couple of minutes of Googling, I found this online tool, dbdiagram.io, and I think it looks good. And the cool thing is that I can type the words here, and it will be displayed as an image. So I don't have to draw anything actually myself. I can just drag if I don't like something. Okay, so here's the design sketch, and I guess I'm going to start. So let's look at the first screen. Okay, I see that we have internationalization, so we'll have to have different languages, log in, shopping cart, and here's the menu. So we have menu items and categories. Okay, so let's start building. They're going to have menu categories, and we're going to have menu items. Now, a menu category is going to have an ID, a name, and a menu item is going to belong to a menu category. Okay, so menu category has many menu items. Let's see. Yeah, looks like this. Okay, and a menu item will have a name, a description, and a price. So name, string, description, text, and price, integer. Okay, and it will be not parent ID, it will be menu category ID. Okay, so we have a menu category and the menu item. Next, let's see what else we have. So nothing else on that page. Okay, we have user sign in. So we're going to have users, like device users, I guess. So we'll have a new table. ID, int, email, string, whatever, user. Okay. What do we have next? Okay, a few options that can be visible after sign in. So these are just pages, like the sign-in pages, doesn't matter much. Okay, just the device page stylings, doesn't matter much. Okay, after sign in, repeat your last order. So a user will be able to have many orders, and here there is a shopping cart. So we will need an order model. So we'll have a table, order, ID int, user ID int, and a reference, user.id. Okay, so an order belongs to a user. Makes sense. And an order will be able to have many order items. You see, we have order items. So an order can have different menu items, and it will have like many menu items as order items. So we'll create the new table, table order item, ID int. It will belong to an order and to a menu item. So order ID and menu item.id. Okay, now it's becoming a bit twisted, so we are going to move this around a bit. So a user has an order, a menu category has a menu item, and an order has many order items. Something like this. Okay, what is next? So there are the prices and there is the total amount of the order. So an order will have a total amount or total price. That will be an integer. And again, the prices of menu items can change in the future. So inside each order, we need to save the exact price the menu item had at the moment of ordering. So we'll also add the price into the order item. Okay, so we're going to go to our order item and add the menu item price. I think we can just go with price integer. Okay, so a user has an order has many order items. An order item is basically a menu item saved for the order, and a menu item belongs to a menu category. Okay, looks quite simple for now. Then we have the total price. And here you see we have these different options. So plus vegetable milk, plus sauce, and so on. So our order items or our menu items can have some additional flavors. And we might want to add them later on. Here again, we see something connected with flavors. So one option costs 85, another costs 89. I think we'll have to dig into this later on, or it might be visible somewhere here. Okay, I think we've gone through the first design flow, and here's the order flow. Let's see. Okay, here are some options that can be visible possibly when we hover on a menu item. So here we see actually the ingredients. Here are the ingredients. So a menu item can have many ingredients. So we would have an ingredients list and a joint table between a menu item and ingredients. Okay, now it is becoming more complex. So we'll add a table ingredients, ID integer, name, string, and our menu item will have many ingredients through ingredient items, or this can actually be a recipe. So I will create a table in menu item ingredients. ID integer, or actually this one might not need an ID because it would be just a joint table, and we would have ingredient ID integer, and how do we type it here? Ref ingredient.id. Okay, so an ingredient can belong to many menu item ingredients, and a menu item will also be able to have many menu item ingredients. So we'll have menu item ID and menu item dot ID. Okay, so here we have a joint table. Starting to look quite complex. Now let's just move this up here so that it looks a bit nicer. Okay, so menu items can have many ingredients through menu item ingredients. And you see we have these flavors. Now some can be added as multiple, so we can add multiple checkboxes, and in some cases it would be either or. And we can also add quantity. So we would add the quantity to these order items. So where do we have order items? We would have price and quantity. Okay, so we can add many menu items as an order item. And again, we have these additional attributes. I think we will see more about them later, but we have to remember this. Okay, so what do we have here? Select an item, choose additional attributes, and add to cart. Okay, so An item will be able to have different kinds of attributes. We know this. Let's keep going. Preview your order in your cart. Okay, again, what do we have here? We have items, quantities, and price, and total price. And this total price will be calculated based on the price of each order item multiplied by its quantity. Actually, here, for it to be easier, we can also add something like total price of this order item. Well, it can be done later on. Let's see. So we have two flows. Click on order for not signed in user. Okay, so apparently these orders can exist without a user being signed in. So a user ID would not be obligatory. And we could store this either in the session or actually create an order, and later on when a user creates an account, assign it to the user. Okay, and here we have delivery addresses. So a user would have a delivery address or possibly many delivery addresses. Now, many delivery addresses sounds like it makes more sense. So we'll create an additional table, delivery address, ID, int, and what is it going to have? So it will have a first name, a last name, a phone number. Yeah, so a user can actually have many delivery addresses, and the data about the delivery can be different from the user. So one user can have one delivery to one username or to another username. So let's say a delivery address will have a first name string, last name string, then phone number string, I guess, then street, then house number. Actually, this could just be address line 1, 2, 3, 4. Entrance number, apartment number. And apartment. Okay, and create an account for easy ordering. So this is already just some controller action. And what else do we have here? So your delivery address has been saved. Yeah, so delivery address belongs to a user. So it will have user ID, int, and reference user.id. Okay, something like this. Now, it doesn't look very beautiful, but that's okay. We can move it here, for example. Okay, what do we have next? So we have the sign in once again. So these are just the action flows. And we are modeling the database for now. We are not modeling the views and the controllers yet. Okay, here is your order. So an order can have a delivery address. A user can have many delivery addresses, and we can tie a specific delivery address to a specific order. So we would say inside our order table, we would have delivery address ID .id. Okay, something like this. So a delivery address can actually have many orders. Yeah, it's normal because we can, well, order the same stuff to the same address many times. Okay. Then again, quantity, price, total price, and we have something like discount codes. Okay. Then we have some data about the delivery person. So, or actually, it will be delivered to. Yeah, so it's not about the delivery person. And we can say order now or order for later. This is also interesting. So order for now or order for later. So how do we want to model this? If it is order for later, then we would be able to modify the time and date. So actually it would be just order time, and it would be set to time now, or if we want to override, we can change the time. So we would have something like order time inside our order. And it would be a date time. Okay. Then what else do we have here? We have a discount code. So possibly an order would be able to have a discount code ID. So I would add the discount code ID here. It would be int, and it would be belonging to a discount code. So we would also possibly need a discount codes table. Okay, so we're creating a new table discount code ID. Then it would have a name, so it would be the one that would be inputted here. It would have something like active or not, so this would be int string active. It would be a boolean. Then we would have something like how many times it was used, how many times it can be used. So times used, integer, max usages, integer, and the discount percent. It would be also integer, I guess. Now, where do we have our discount codes? Here they are. Okay, now let's actually make it a bit wider. Okay, something like this. Going next. So we have your order. Discount code is being applied. Discount code was invalid. Okay, so we have the price without discount code, and we have the price with the discount code. So our order is going to have the total price and total price after discount. So to be something like final price. Let's say price and price with discount, integer. And we can also let's not copy the discount percent here. We'll just have the discount ID, and hopefully it will not be editable. So usually a discount code cannot be edited and cannot be deleted if it has been used any times. Okay, so an order has the price without discount and with discount. Let's say without. Okay, something like this. And what else do we have? Okay, click confirm an order. Okay, let's have a look at our order. So here we have the order, the total price, price with discount, and an order can have a status of arrived. So actually an order will have different statuses. And one of them will be arrived. So an order will have a status. Now, can we define the options here? I'm not sure how to do it with this syntax of this application, but basically it will have a status of, maybe we can make some comments. Okay, so status will have options of something like incomplete. Then it will also be able to be in delivery, okay, complete, or like ready to process. Let's maybe add it to different lines. So incomplete, ready to process, or like ready to start. Then we will have ready to deliver, then delivery, and complete. Okay, so incomplete meaning the user hasn't posted the order yet. Ready to start means the user has posted the order and we can start, let's say, preparing it. Ready to deliver is we have prepared it and the delivery guy can, well, it can be given to the delivery guy or to the waiter. Then delivery, so delivery in process, it has been delivered, and complete, it means it has been given to our customer. Okay. Looks fine. Now there are so many ways we can go here. So thank you. View order status. So we should also have a map with the location of the restaurant, with the location of the client, and potentially we would maybe want the delivery guy to share his location, but it's not something urgent. Okay, we have order updates. So this would be already the data of the user. So the user's email and possibly his phone number. Now, at the moment, the user has his ID and email, and we can also add his phone number to the user's model, not only to the delivery address, but we can leave this for later, I think. It's not something urgent. Okay, it's an example of page not found. What do we have in this index page? Okay, an example of an error. Okay, so we've done that flow. And here we have another flow with settings. So drop-down menu, past orders, my delivery address. Okay, so here we'll have the user's delivery addresses. Here he will see his past orders. So the orders that have the status either complete or incomplete. And the current orders, well, so the user will see all his orders. Not much else here. Then user can enter his delivery address and see a preview of his location. Looks fine. Success message when it was saved, doesn't matter. Okay, past orders and the order statuses. Okay, so one is getting prepared. We can actually rename this to, oh, actually add another status so that it is being prepared. So getting prepared. Okay, then we'll have delivered. So delivered, not complete. Okay, and we can see the order items inside each order. And we have the order date, the quantity of items, so we can actually add the order items count inside the order. So here we will have order items count integer. Here we'll have some kind of counter caching. Okay, the quantity of items, then the order date. So is the order time here. And yeah, we can also actually track the time when each of these statuses was changed. So when the order was set to ready to start, when it was set to getting prepared, ready to delivery, and delivered. So this would actually be really interesting. Now we can leave this also for a bit later. So track time for each status change. Okay. And there are a few options. So reorder. Okay, we've been here already. What happens when we click on reorder? We've been here already. Okay, we've seen all these views already. So looks fine. I think we're done with this first giant sketch. Now we have this other store menu. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so it's basically just the way the menu looks. Nothing special, nothing that we haven't seen yet. And again, the languages. Okay, and here we have the staff and admin dashboard. So also quite a few screens here. Let's have a look at them. So we have new, canceled, in preparation, ready for pickup. So instead of ready to deliver, we will have ready for pickup. Then we have in preparation. So in preparation, then we'll also have something like canceled. New, so new is something like ready to start. On the way is going to be instead of delivery, so on the way. And here we have the estimated delivery time. We should also possibly calculate this somehow. I'll just leave it as a question mark for now. So maybe we would want to use some kind of Google Maps API or something like that for the estimated delivery time. Okay, so on the way, delivered. Looks fine. So this is the way the, I guess, restaurant manager or the cooks are going to see their orders. And again, here we have these flavors, so vegetable milk or sauce or something else. So this is the dashboard for our staff to see incoming orders. Okay, so actually we'll need roles for staff and roles for clients. So I think it doesn't make sense to create two separate user models, but like for admins and for users, it would be just good to give some users the role of delivery guy or role of staff or role of customer. Or possibly a user could have many roles. Okay. Then, depending on whether the price online and price store is filled out, the item will appear in store menu or in online menu or both. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So the menu online and the menu offline can have different prices. So an online price can be one and a store price can be different. Well, I think we can watch this one later, and you see an item can have an image. I actually forgot this. So a menu item has an image. We'll actually have an active storage relationship to an image. So menu item has an image. I think one image is enough. And we are going to store it in something like active storage. And we'll have just a blob relationship that a menu item has one image. So then name, price, store, price online. Okay, for now we'll have just one price for the simplicity, then category, description, and here are the options. Okay, so here it becomes more interesting. So there are options. It has a field, a price, and some kind of thing that we can click. And add-ons. So an item can have many options and many add-ons. The difference between an option and add-on is that an item can have many of one of them and one of the other. I'm not sure which one. Okay, we have a preview, doesn't matter yet. So here are some examples of options and add-ons. I still don't understand them well yet, but we can definitely create an additional table where we're going to keep the relationships of menu items and their options. Now, we'll leave this for later because I don't fully understand it yet. And what do we have here? So drag and drop effects doesn't matter. Okay, this is interesting. So product availability, all unique options and add-ons are listed here. and can be displayed globally. Okay, so basically, options and add-ons should have an availability status, possibly as well as ingredients. And if we disable the availability of an option or add-on, then all the products should not have the option to select this add-on. So for example, if we don't have meat, then we should not be able to select anything with meat. Or if we don't have vegetable milk, we should not be able to select anything with vegetable milk. So for now, I will just say ingredient availability. Let it be in ingredients. So I will say available boolean. Okay. Individual options and add-ons can be enabled or disabled for a product. So we can also enable them and disable them on a product level. Okay, we will also leave this in mind for later. Now, what do we have here? So yeah, just drag and drop design. Again, add new item preview. Yeah, just the way we can delete an attached image. I don't see any difference between these two images. Okay, then links to edit and delete a menu item, and to make a menu item active or inactive. So actually we can add this active boolean to our menu items like this. So drag and drop effects for formatting menus doesn't matter yet. And I guess that's it. So the only thing that is left is these options and add-ons. Okay, so let's go back to our landing page and possibly find a view where we can select these add-ons. Yeah, here is an example. So you see, we can select either hot or cold. So this would be an option, and this would be an add-on. We can select multiple add-ons, and options and add-ons can also have their price. Okay, so let's make some notes about that. So option can be one, like hot or cold, and add-on can have many, like vegetable milk, like no soy or whatever. Okay, so a menu item can have many options and add-ons. And when selecting an order item, we can select the ones that we want to add. So let's try to add this. I will say table menu item options ID integer, and it will belong to a menu item. So menu item ID. Now where do we have this table? Where was it added? Okay, here it is. Menu item options. Okay, so menu item options, and an option will be able to have a name string, and it will have a price that can be actually nil. So price integer, and available boolean. So we can switch on menu item option availability or off. And a menu item can have how many? Can have one option. So it should be not one to many, but one to one. I'm not sure how to say it, that it is one-to-one in this case. Well, actually, a menu item can have many menu item options, but an order item can have just one menu item option. That's the way it should be. So inside our order item, where do we have it? It is going to have a menu item option ID, integer, and referencing menu item option dot ID. Now, how do we make it more visible? Something like this. So a menu item can have many menu item options, but an order item can have just one menu item option. It has a name, a price, availability. Actually, if we go deeper, we can also link these ingredients to our menu item options. So if an ingredient is not available, then the menu item option will not be available and all the menu items will not be available. And same with the add-ons. So a menu item can have many add-ons, and an order item will also be able to have many add-ons. So it would be something like where do we have our menu item options? We will create a table, menu item, add-ons. Also, name, price, available Boolean belongs to menu item. Now, where do we have this menu item add-on? Like this. Okay, and it will have a relationship to our order item. So an order item can have many add-ons. So order item, menu item, add-on. A table that will be named, well, that would have a very long name. We can of course think of a better name later on, but for now, how should we name it? Actually, we can just try passing them as a hash. So what if we pass them as a hash? If we have a menu item add-ons field that is a hash inside our order items, and there we'll have the IDs and params. Well, I think it will be actually easier with adding an additional table. Okay, so we'll have a new table, menu order item add-ons, ID integer, and it will reference an order item ID. Where do we have this table? Where was it added? Okay, so order item add-on. And it will also reference this menu item add-on. Menu item add-on ID and menu item add-on.id. Okay, so I think we're done. Let's look at the flow. Basically, a menu item belongs to a menu category. A menu item has a name, a description, a default price, availability, and it has many options, and it has many add-ons. Okay, then when we want to order some menu items, we add the order items to our order, and an order item can have a menu item. It can have an option, and it can have many add-ons that are related to this menu item. Then the order itself will have a status, we'll have the quantity of ordered items, the price without discount, with discount. Yeah, and actually this price will have to be calculated based on the menu item price plus the price of the options and add-ons. This is important to note. Okay, then it has the order items count, price without discount, with discount, the discount code ID. Then a user can have many orders, and actually will have a few additional timestamps. So not only the order time, we'll have a timestamp for each of the statuses. So here we have status string, and for each of the statuses, we would have a separate timestamp. So actually, we would possibly want to add all these to our table as attributes. So we would say like canceled time, date time, then ready to start time, date time, in preparation, time, date time. I'm just adding time here so that when we develop the application, we always know that these are date time fields, but not booleans or integers or whatever. So ready to pick up time, date time. And so when it was picked up, so on the way time, and delivered time. And this would be the order time, so the ready to start time. Okay, and this all actually doesn't include anything connected with money. So at some point, the user would have to pay for the order, and the order would have to have a payment status. So this would, I think, be managed by the payment provider, but we could add an additional status. So incomplete, then we would have some status for like payment ready to pay. Actually, incomplete would be ready to pay. So payment and ready to start would mean that the payment has been done, possibly. Yeah, so I think I won't be adding any additional statuses now. Just new would be changed to ready to start. And here we have our date fields for each of the available statuses, except of incomplete. For this one, we don't need a timestamp. Okay, so looks good. And a user can have many delivery addresses, and for each order, the user specifies a delivery address. Okay, looks quite clear to me. Now, one thing that we could also add again in the future is connect menu item add-ons and options to ingredients. So this would be something like a polymorphic table. So it would be like item ingredients, and it would be able to reference either a menu item or option or add-on. Okay, so I think we are done with modeling this application. I actually liked the experience of using this tool. So here we've got all our tables, the data types, the relationships, and we can start creating an MVP with drafting this all inside our scaffolds in a Rails application, for example. But I guess that's it for now. So thanks for being with me. And I think now you can also try to, well, you should have an imagination of how to use like entity relationships diagrams, how to model data into a database. And now you can start creating scaffolds and modeling an application for a restaurant ordering and delivery service. So thanks for being with me. Cheers.